Hey, and welcome back to another session with another friend of mine. We've been connecting for a while, and finally I was able to get him to come here and be the speaker, and that is George. And George is going to share with us the topic around mapping content and SEO activities to SaaS growth stages. Now, this session is specifically to SaaS companies, software as a service. So hopefully lots of you out there are, and I know that you are, a lot of people are specifically SaaS related. So excited to watch you.
Sure. Thank you very much, Natalie, for the intro. I think that we are ready, so I will be sharing my screen with you, if that's okay. Let me just please confirm that you see what I see once I put it in full screen. Everything
Yes,
okay?
looks good.
Okay, that's great. First of all, thank you all very much for being here with us today. The topic, as Natalie mentioned, is going to be mapping content SEO activities to SaaS growth stages. Okay. First of all, here's a quick agenda of what we are going to cover throughout the presentation. A short introduction. What are the SaaS growth stages that we are going to discuss? Early stage, product market fit, and growth. We are going to take them one by one and essentially start breaking down what you should be doing based on the stage that your company is at right now. And we will close out with some key takeaways and obviously a Q&A. Okay, so let's get started. The content and SEO activities that you invest time and resources into as a SaaS company will heavily depend on the stage your company is in. This is not something that many companies get. Obviously, companies in later stages that have reached a certain level of maturity, they get it because they are doing this for quite a while. But especially companies in earlier stages don't seem to understand where they should invest time, resources, and so on when it comes to content SEO. Okay. The thing though is, why is this important? Because let's face it, SaaS is super cluttered right now, and if you don't know where to spend your time when it comes to content SEO, specifically time, financial resources, and focus as a whole, this will cost you a lot when it comes to staying behind compared to competition. So this is the first point that we have here: time. Wasting financial resources, which especially in the early stages of your company are extremely important to maintain. And last but not least, it will also cost you in product involvement, especially if you don't have a very clear focus as to where you want to get. Okay, so the three stages that we are going to cover throughout this presentation is early stage companies, companies that have found a product market fit and are ready to start growing, and companies that are at the growth stage. Now, before we delve any further, let me just say that we are using these three stages for the sake of simplicity. There are many ways to see the topic and to approach the growth stages of a SaaS company. These are the ones that we are using just for the sake of simplicity and for this presentation, okay, to keep things a bit more simple. So let's start with the first one, which is early stage companies. A quick overview of where these companies are. Chances are that unless you are a second or third time founder with many connections in your industry, that you don't have an authority in your niche, and people don't know you or your product. Okay. At the same time, you probably cannot allocate budget to content because you have other priorities. You have to validate very specific things. You have to build your product and so on and so forth. Your website has a low authority, okay, unless you are able to run expensive PR campaigns that most likely you are not. And you can't rank as an extension for terms with commercial search intent, okay? At the same time, and this is extremely important, that many people seem to overlook when it comes to, where am I going to invest time and resources into. keep in mind that you may need to pivot in 6, 9, 12 months from the moment that you initiate a content SEO strategy. You may need to pivot, okay? Or simply, this is a bit sad, but it's the hard reality. You may not be able to last long enough to see your content and SEO efforts, start getting you results. At the same time, people don't know if they can trust your business to bring results. Okay, they don't know you, so they cannot really trust you and your product. And the last point that we have here, you don't have an audience yet, and most likely you're struggling when it comes to sales. Okay, I know all these are a bit disappointing, but it's the hard reality of early stage companies that are not VC backed, don't have a PR agency to help them, and don't have many connections in their industry, and so on and so forth. So if we would like to take a look at a website of an early stage SaaS company, it would look something like that. Okay, this is from Ahrefs, this screenshot, and you can see that the authority of the website is really low. The organic visibility of the website is almost non-existent. There are not so many websites linking back to our website, and obviously the organic traffic is close to zero. Okay, pretty disappointing, but true. Now the question obviously is, okay, but what can we do if we are at this stage? What are the activities that we can invest time and resources into? The first one that you can do is to publish content that demonstrates the value of your product. Okay, for example, case studies, customer stories, anything that could demonstrate the value of your product. Now, something very important here, when we say anything that would demonstrate the value of your product, doesn't mean that you should be rolling out product updates every other day. Okay, this is overwhelming, and this is not essentially demonstrating that the product that we are building can help you with XYZ problem that you are facing. Second, you have to invest in your brand and try to build, even though that's very difficult, try to build a community. For example, you can run online events such as the one that you are at right now. Okay. Third, you can try to publish guest posts in an effort to start building up your domain authority by linking back to your website, and at the same time reach new audiences. Now, I want to mention something here. Many people believe that, okay, if we're going to do 5 guest posts, we are going to get referral traffic from these websites, and our domain authority will go up, and so on and so forth. It's not so easy. Okay, it's a painful process. You have to take it step by step, but doing guest posting can definitely help in order to get yourself in front of the eyes of a new audience that's already built on another website, and also get some high quality links back to your website. Then arrange co-marketing activities that are focused on content. For example, arrange co-marketing activities with other SaaS companies that are supplementary to yours, and do webinars or do a joint ebook. And last but not least, make sure that your website is at least accessible and technically sound. Okay, in that stage, don't think about SEO. Just don't think about it. Okay, but these are some of the activities that you can invest time and resources into. Now, an example here is a company called Orson. It's a SaaS company, online proofing software, which, as you can see here, we have a customer story. Okay, and by the way, I'm not sure about the exact stage that they are at, but I'm just trying to illustrate the example of, you are at an early stage, so the value that people can get out of your product. This is the type of content that's important in these early stages, along with the other activities that we saw. Next, we have companies that have reached a product market fit. Quick overview of where you are at, if you are at this stage right now. You can present most likely your product as the solution to what people are searching for. You have a broad, hopefully, set of customers who like using your product. Thus, you have reached a product market fit. You have the resources and capabilities to invest in your content efforts. Chances are that at this point, maybe you have managed to raise some money. So you have some resources. You know what features provide users with the most value, which is extremely important. You have found the use cases, the best use cases for your product. Your website has higher domain authority, and obviously that's based on your effort so far around guest posting that we mentioned earlier. People trust your brand, and you have a small but growing audience. Okay. Now, at this point, your website could look something like that. As you can see, the DR is pretty decent. Now we can be a bit more competitive. We have some attention in the form of websites linking back to our website, referring our website and brand, and so on and so forth. We start opening up our organic visibility in terms of the number of organic keywords that we are ranking for, which is extremely important for many different reasons. And as an extension, we get some organic traffic back to our website. Okay, things start to get colorful again at this stage. Now, some activities that you can invest time and resources when you are at this stage are these. You can present your product as the solution to the searcher's problems. Let's say that a company has the problem of we don't get enough media coverage, okay, for our brand. So the solution here could be, okay, why don't you pitch journalists with your story or things that you have to say that are unique and that you know that you own as information. So the solution could be here, and the way people could search would be how to pitch journalists. Okay, create content that focuses on your product's features and capabilities. For example, you can hear those as use case pages or feature pages, whatever. The meaning is the same. For example, online course software. Create comparison and alternative pages. For example, product alternatives or product A vs product B. This is something that many SaaS companies are doing right now. I wouldn't say that we recommend it in every case, but if you want to take this direction, at this point, you can do it. Because let's face it, if you are at an early stage, what's the point of comparing yourself with another brand, or even presenting your brand as a good alternative, a reliable alternative to an already established business? There is no point. At this point, though, product market fit, you can do it. And at this point, you can also start implementing some basic technical optimizations, such as schema markup and so on and so forth. And I would highly recommend that at this point, obviously it depends on your situation, you start considering, to either build a team in-house or start outsourcing some recurring activities when it comes to content SEO to an agency, freelancers, whatever works best for you. Okay. Example here, we have an outreach software, Respona, and you can see a landing page that's feature specific. This is a page that essentially tells you that if link building is what you want to do, the use case here, we are a link building software. But Respona at this point can actually suggest itself as a viable solution when it comes to link building software. So at this point, you are able to do that, and this is just an example. And let's get to the final stage. And once again, guys, let me just say that we have categorized stages like that just for the sake of simplicity. Online, you may find different ways of categorizing the journey of a SaaS company, okay? But we are at this point at the growth stage, okay? Here, let's see a quick overview. You have authority in your niche, obviously, and an audience that follows you and consumes your content. You are looking for repeatable and scalable. This stage is all about scalability, ways of generating new product qualified leads or whatever is important to you and your business. At the same time, you have the budget and the resources to execute on complex content and SEO strategies. You are probably introducing new features that don't belong to your core product as a way to go up market, to be more competitive in more categories, since you have the reach, you have the customer base, you have pretty much everything that you need. your website has a high domain authority and gets a considerable amount of traction. And this is extremely important because it means essentially that your ability to be competitive on the SERPs for terms that are even new to you and your business is much better. And your competitors know you, and based on how you play the game, they respect you. Okay. Now, at this point, and obviously, let me just say that these are just indicative, okay? Because depending on the industry you're at, for example, if you are an online video software where people are searching online and there are high search volumes when it comes to the terms that are associated with your product's capabilities, you may see here organic keywords in the thousands and organic traffic in the millions, okay? So these screenshots are just indicative. But at this point, some things are clear. The fact that you have a high domain authority, okay? You have many websites, and in many cases, hopefully, authoritative websites linking back to your website. You are ranking for some thousands of organic keywords. You have a big organic footprint. And as an extension, you have a considerable amount of people visiting your website on a monthly basis, okay? What are the key activities that you need to invest time and resources in when you're at that stage? You can create original research and studies because, you have the ability to do so, basically. You can create surveys and annual reports in order to scale lead generation, for example. You want to focus on product marketing. And let me just say here, which applies, by the way, to all three stages, not every page on your website needs to have a target keyword. Don't do that mistake where you want to, publish something around a product update or something that is important to your brand. I don't know, a story, something, and you're trying to find a target keyword. Don't do that. Websites that have a target keyword, target term, you can call it however you like, behind every page they have, this seems unnatural, okay? Something is not quite right there. At the same time, you can create tools, for example, calculators, that will help you acquire backlinks at scale. You can create microsites as a way to acquire traffic for new features you're introducing. And you can find ways, you need to find ways to create and publish content at scale, okay? And an example, the last example that we have, Ahrefs, which is a reputable SEO software that many people know. As you can see here, this is a study, okay? But at this point, Ahrefs can actually, execute on a study like that. And it has the reach, the authority, the audience, pretty much, and the means, everything that it needs in order to do something like that. And obviously, doing something like that will allow you, your business, to acquire backlinks at scale and also draw attention at scale, okay? Because with something like that, most people will pay attention to you if they didn't pay attention already. So what are some key takeaways that we can get from this presentation? The first is that the stage you are at plays a key role in the selection of the activities that you are going to invest time and resources into. This is, obvious from this presentation. The second is that the industry you are in and the way search is done is also going to affect the activities you should invest your time and resources into. And here, let me just give you an example when we're saying about the industry and also the category. Imagine if Drift, which is popular as a conversational marketing and quite recently revenue acceleration platform. Imagine if Drift back in 2015, where I guess they started back then, started to invest in SEO as part of their growth efforts. That would be meaningless, really, because who was searching back then for the term conversational marketing? Okay, so you have to be in the position to judge whether or not this is a good channel for you, and to realistically evaluate the channel by taking a look at the total addressable market and see whether or not people are actually searching for what I'm about to offer as a solution. And to give you another example that I mentioned earlier, let's say that you are an online video software, okay, and you want to launch a very innovative way of editing videos online. Content SEO would make sense in your case, because and if you use a couple of keyword providers such as Ahrefs, you will see that people are actually looking for terms that are related to what you're building. So in that case, it would make sense. So the industry, the category, you can call it however you like, that you are in and that you're operating at, plays a key role into how your strategy will develop. And last but not least, obviously you don't need me to tell you that, but regardless of the activities that you choose, you have to be consistent and committed with your efforts. Don't do it just for let's test content SEO for 3 months and see how it goes. You will be disappointed, and essentially you will have a wrong impression of whether this could actually help your business grow and evolve. Okay, so if you are doing it, just be 100% into it and trust the process of getting there.
Awesome.
That would be all.
George, where can people find you and connect with you?
You can connect with me. Let me just stop presenting. So you can connect with me on LinkedIn. It's Georgios Chasiotis. Or you can visit our website, MINUTTIA.com, to find out more about us, what we do, and so on and so forth.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We are right at our time. Everyone, we will see you in the next session. A very exciting session. Don't miss it out. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Bye.